Well, now at noon, thousands of people starting the new year are paying higher insurance premiums as subsidies expire on the Affordable Care Act. And an early lead for the Oregon Ducks in today's Orange Bowl as fans gather here in Portland and thousands of miles away in Miami to cheer them on. Well, happening now, fans are cheering on the Oregon Ducks at Grand Central Bowl this afternoon as Oregon takes on Texas Tech. Right now, the game is in the fourth quarter with Oregon in the lead. Thanks for joining us this afternoon and Happy New Year. I'm Blair Best. The Ducks took an early lead in the Orange Bowl, but not by much in the first half. The score was 6-0. The Ducks nabbed the first touchdown of the game, extending their lead in the third quarter. And so far, they've held on to it with less than a quarter left. Right now, it's 16-0 Oregon. Our crew is in Miami today covering the game. They say Ducks fans are outnumbered by Texas Tech fans, but the vibes are still high.
There's a lot of green out here. We'd love to see it, but yeah, we're a little outnumbered, but we're going to pull out on top.
We're going to be the loudest in the stadium.
Duck fans are loud, brother. They don't play any games. You know, they're nice, but they're loud.
I don't know what our percentages are going to be, but yeah, there's a lot of us out here, a lot more than maybe I kind of thought we would have out here, and everyone seems to be pretty happy and pretty excited. So I think it's going to be good.
Looks so fun. Fans say they think the Ducks learned from their Rose Bowl loss last year, and they're ready to take the win. We'll have an update later on in the newscast. But first, let's bring in Corey Johnson with a look at your first forecast on the first day of the new year. Corey?
Yeah, good afternoon, Blair. It is going to be a cloudy and rainy start for the first day of 2026. So getting into it, our Rose City camera right now sitting at 40 degrees, so still chilly. You might want to grab a jacket if you are headed out to some New Year's Day activities. Taking a look across the board, temperature-wise, sitting chillier, 33 in the Dalles, 30 in Pendleton, 40 right now in Salem, and it looks like mid-40s near the coast as well. This is our Vancouver camera from the Springs at the waterfront in Southwest Washington. Also a cloudy start with some light rain and 40-degree temperatures. Light rain is what we've been seeing over the last few hours or so, but as we get into the rest of today, notice that rain continues to push in from the south and it becomes a little bit more widespread throughout the metro area, and that continues as we get into the evening tonight. So taking a look at our temperatures, we are going to top out at about 44 degrees as our high today. Remember, it is going to stay pretty cloudy and rainy as we get throughout the rest of our Thursday and into Friday as well. We also have a winter weather advisory in place for the Gorge in Central Oregon due to some freezing rain because the temperatures east of Portland are going to stay a little bit chillier, but we'll break down the timing of all of the rest of the rain and those temperatures coming up.
Okay, Corey, thank you. Well, here's a look at some national headlines this afternoon. A fire inside a bar at a popular Swiss Alps ski resort during New Year's celebrations has left numerous people dead and injured. Swiss police say about 40 people were killed, around 100 others injured, most of them severely. The fire started in the bar called La Constellation. It's not yet clear how it started, but officials say they do not believe it was a terror attack. The British Embassy in Switzerland said that foreign nationals from multiple countries are likely to be among the victims of the fire. President Trump says he is dropping his plan to send the National Guard to Portland and other cities after the White House repeatedly ran into legal roadblocks. On Truth Social yesterday, the president said he, quote, accomplished his goal and crime has been reduced. The president ordered them here to protect the ICE building on the south waterfront, but then was hit by legal challenges, with a federal judge permanently blocking President Trump from deploying troops. 5 people were killed yesterday in another strike on the alleged drug trafficking boats. U.S. Southern Command hit 2 boats they say were suspected of carrying drugs. They did not say where it happened. This brings the total number of boats targeted by the U.S. military to at least 36, and at least 115 people have been killed since September. Well, for the first time in more than 30 years, the U.S. has surpassed more than 2,000 measles cases. That's according to new data from the CDC. The last time more than 2,000 cases were reported in 1 year was in 1992. Measles has been considered eliminated in the U.S. since 2000. The U.S. is at risk of losing that elimination status if cases continue to grow through late January. And health insurance costs are going up this year. Tax credits that helped low-income families afford their insurance plans on the federal marketplace have now expired. Premium costs across the board are going up, and it's impacting just about almost everyone. Jen Sullivan has a look.
Millions of Americans will be paying more for health insurance this year. That's because tax credits that help people pay for plans on the federal marketplace, known as Obamacare, have expired.
Sadly, it's no longer going to be affordable.
Jeremy Coolish says he lost his job in the spring, forcing him and his wife to get insurance through the marketplace. He says their current plan costs $392 with tax credits, but those subsidies are now gone.
Without subsidies, it would be something like $1,608.
Millions of Americans are in a similar dilemma. KFF estimates 24 million people signed up for insurance through the Affordable Care Act in 2025. Of those enrollees, roughly 92% received subsidies. Without those tax credits, KFF says average annual premium costs could rise by 114%.
People simply can't afford some of the premiums that have been happening in this coming year.
Zonjanice Jacobs is an insurance navigator in Florida. Every state employs navigators who are available to answer your questions for free.
They know what kind of prescriptions they're going to need or what kind of doctor's appointments they're going to need to go to or other procedures that they're going to have. We make sure that we walk through the process by looking at each one of those plans that fit within the confines of their budget.
Here are some other options. Many states have expanded the income qualifications for Medicaid. Go to healthcare.gov/lower costs to see if you qualify. Private insurance plans, lower premiums, but out-of-pocket costs may be higher and there may be more services not covered. Short-term medical plans, low monthly premium costs, but very high deductibles. To help lower prescription costs, many big pharmacies recommend using coupons through GoodRx. It's free. And AARP also offers free prescription discount cards. In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
In Oregon, the new year was going to mean more taxes and fees when it comes to transportation, but many of those are now on hold. That's after Republicans succeeded in their push to refer the changes passed by Oregon's legislature to voters in November. Tim Gordon has a look at the changes that are now on pause.
Driving into 2026, only a few parts of the state's transportation funding plan will take effect. Republicans gathered more than enough signatures to refer the matter to voters next November. That means parts of the spending plan passed by Democrats last September will not begin January 1st, including a payroll tax hike from 0.1 to 0.2%, not happening. Also on hold, fee hikes for vehicle titles and registrations. And a big one, no gas tax increase of 6 cents per gallon.
It adds up pretty quick when you start looking at how fast it goes up. When filling up.
We heard some relief about that at a gas station in downtown Portland, along with some criticism of state government.
What are they doing with the 6 cents a gallon is the main thing. I mean, let's face it, Oregon's as overtaxed as you could be.
A driver named Sarah wanted to know how the transportation money would be spent, but generally favored paying for good roads.
It's always worth it to give something to your community when it's going to help your community, because we don't want our roads to go downhill and things like that.
Now to what's still happening starting January 1st. If you drive an EV or vehicle that gets 40 miles or more per gallon, your surcharge will go up over $50 per 2-year period. Also, an alternative per-mile fee system will continue to expand for electric vehicles. And good news for truckers, a system that charges them by weight and miles will change, along with adjustments to diesel taxes, lightening their financial burden. As for ODOT, they're holding off hiring hundreds of open positions, but not when it comes to keeping drivers safe this season.
Well, as an interim measure, the governor directed us to go ahead and fill most of the vacant positions in our road crews and our maintenance crews for the winter, so that we have roughly the same service levels as last winter going into this winter.
Now, ODOT says it may not take until next November to get a better picture of its financial situation. That may come next month in the short session.